Welcome to CISN 306's orientation. My name is Lance Parks. We're going to take a look at the syllabus. We're going to take a look at the course portal and the ebook. I'm going to do this rather quickly because I'm assuming if you are taking 306, you've taken one of my previous courses and have gone through all of this before. So nevertheless, if you have questions when I'm done, be sure to talk to me and I will be happy to answer them. 306 is an online 8-week course. My office hours are listed here, but I know being an online course, most of you are going to contact me by email, which is listed there. Please note I don't check it over the weekend. So if you email me Friday afternoon, Saturday, Sunday, you should not get a response until probably Monday morning. This is a 3-unit course. The prereq is 302. If you don't have the prereq, be sure to talk to me. 306, without reading the description and going into a lot of details, it follows Microsoft's 70-742 Server 2016 certification exam, which is identity. So all the information covered in the course prepares you for that certification exam, as well as the publisher has a certification exam that students can take also. There is no mandatory attendance. The final is taken at home. There is an optional, you can take that publisher certification exam at the end of the course in lieu of an on-ground final, but you do have to come to the college, provide identity, and you can take it here. If you do pass the publisher's certification exam, you will get a certificate that you can add to your resume, and it doesn't cost anything, because when you purchase the ebook, you get a voucher for their exam. If you want to take the Microsoft exam, you have to pay for that separately. The ebook, I think, is a much more interactive way to learn compared to PowerPoint slides. So when we get to the ebook, you'll see for yourself. Again, most of you are probably familiar with the ebook by now, but you watch the lecture videos, you watch demonstrations, which would have been done in an on-ground class. You do have labs. They do help prepare you for knowing the content in this course. There are 49 of them. You do have to pass the labs 100% successful if you want to get full credit. Please understand you can take them over and over again, and you can ask me for help. Fact sheets, written lessons, usually 1 to 2 pages. You review it, mark it up, save it as a PDF if you want. But that's really the only written material in the course. And then there are some quizzes. Usually the quizzes are about 1 to 10 questions, and they do assess you on your progress. You can take them over and over again, like the labs. And you only need 80% for the quizzes to receive full credit. The final exam is TestOut's Server Pro practice exam. So you can take that, for the final. Again, it can be done at home. And then if you want, you can come and take the real one at the college when the course is over. And if you pass that, you get that certificate. But even if you don't take that, you still get a grade for this course, and it will still prepare you for both certification exams. Online courses, discussion boards become a critical component for communication. Each chapter, you're expected to post 1 question and 1 answer to a question. So if a discussion board covers 4 chapters, that's 8 posts minimum. Things are due Monday by noon, except for something like the discussion board. extra credit, you can turn things in late, up to a week, with a minor penalty. This is a little bit incorrect. My policy today is you do lose 2% every day it's late, up to a week. If you have questions about that, let me know. But keep in mind that if the due date is, let's say, November 1st, you can, up to a week late, still turn it in, recoup most of the points, but only up to a week late. After that, you need a doctor's note. Orientation quiz, we will take that before we're done today. Discussion boards, there's 5 of them. Objective exams help prepare you for the final practice exam, plus Microsoft's exam, the 9 chapters in the ebook, and then that final for a total of 1,000 points. Here is our schedule. Being that it is an 8-week course, it moves rather quickly. You cover about 2 chapters a week, and then the last couple weeks you do have those practice exams, and then the certification practice exam, the final, and then the optional actual certification exam is scheduled for Friday, December 13th at 6 p.m. if you'd like to come to the college and take a crack at it. Due dates are scattered, so even though chapters 0 and 1 are not due the week you're supposed to work on them, I recommend you don't get behind, but it does allow some flexibility, as I do understand everyone has lives outside of school, including work and family, etc. But the due dates here are not going to change, so you want to make sure that you try to get things turned in on time. Chapters 0 to 4, discussion board 2 are due the 18th of November. 4 to 7, discussion board 3, December 2nd. And then pretty much everything is due after that, the last day of class. Please note that everything due here cannot be turned in late because the semester is over. All right. Let's take a look at Canvas. Your to-do things are listed here. Discussion board we'll get to in a minute. The orientation quiz in a minute. These placeholders for the ebook, chapter 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Note, the due dates and all that. They're not, you don't need to do anything. They are just there so I can assign your grade and feedback. So you do all of your work in the ebook, except for the discussion board and the orientation quiz. All the work's done in the ebook. But this is where I assign your grades. Plus, here has a nice handy course summary with when and what is due. That last week or two of class, they are busy ones. If there are any way you can try to get some time off or set aside more time, I do recommend you try and do that the last 2 weeks of class. There's a lot that comes up due that needs to get done rather quickly. And again, you can't turn things in past this due date. So if you're able the last couple weeks to get a little extra time set aside for the class, you won't regret it. And announcements, any announcement that I send the class will be posted here. You should receive at least one weekly announcement or email. If you're not seeing them, check your account, check your communication settings. Either way, you can read them here under the announcement page. But it is very important you do read them because they do go into a lot of detail about what you need to be doing that particular week. Not much under the assignments other than taking the orientation quiz And then again, your discussion boards, which are also located here. So your introduction goes here. Thanks, Alan. We already got another introduction posted. But your two ways to post, you can click the reply button or you can reply to someone's post. For the introduction, you only need to post once. For the discussion boards related to the chapters, if you recall, it's one question and one answer per discussion board. So if chapter 0 to 3 is 4 chapters, that's going to be a minimum of 8 posts necessary for that one. Modules, copy of the syllabus, the online orientation, of course, orientation quiz, your discussion board, some optional, if you're new to the ebook, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with the ebook by now, there are some helpful guides there. PowerPoint slides are available that do cover the particular topic related to each chapter. If you want to view them, feel free to come back and look at them here. They might be useful for some of the quizzes. Hint, hint. But there's, they're done by sub chapter. So chapter 0 has a couple sections, and each one will have its own little PowerPoint slides. Those are not available in the ebook, just in Canvas. Grades, be sure to go in and check your grades frequently. Make sure I haven't missed anything, left anything out, made any mistakes. Library information, student services, Google Drive, tutoring services, etc. And it looks like we have a few duplicates I should try to get rid of. Let's take a look at the ebook. The ebook that we're using is Test Out Server Pro 2016 Identity. This is the ebook for the Microsoft certification exam relating to this class. If you want to open that hyperlink, and I'm going to copy this code. Let me do this. All right. So testout.com, enter price code. That's the number there. That gives you the student discount. Without it, you're paying a small fortune. You think $100 and some is a lot. Without this, you're going to be paying $500 or $600. And it's towards the bottom. There we go. So it is the Server Pro 2016 Identity. It's $129. You add it to the cart, check out. Don't buy the ebook at the school, buy it online. Type in the school's name, Cosumnes River College. Accept everything, first, last name, email. Important, the email address, check it because it will have your activation code when you have purchased the ebook. The activation code will give you access to it. And then telephone, street, all that normal stuff, and then payment, and then continue. All right. Once you have purchased the ebook, you can then sign up or log in. And once again, most of you probably have an account already. Log in, I would keep the same as your student ID, password, same, first, last name, email, and then that activation code will already just link you with your ebook. So let me log in really quick. second. This is different, slightly different for you viewing it compared to. I'm trying to remember. One second. All right, here we go. So your student view should be similar to this, minus the fact I have access to a lot of content. But your course will be the fall CISN 306. You don't have any pending exams to take. This is your ebook. If you have no content under there, just your ebook, make sure you enroll and find, search for me. And then you want to make sure that you link to my course. Because if you don't link your ebook to my course 306, I'm not able to see it. Let's take a look at that ebook. It has 9 chapters if you include the introduction. I kind of gave you some free points by having you do the introduction, which, as you can see, is pretty short, and it's really more of a prereq for the course. But nevertheless, go ahead and do it. And big chapter on installing Active Directory, planning Active Directory. Microsoft used to call this certification exam the Active Directory exam. As you can see, it still contains a lot of Active Directory information. You do a lot of group policy work, certification services, etc. You're most likely familiar with the ebook. This is your lecture. A little bit loud, but nevertheless, you can turn that down. Keep this at 1x. If you change it, it can affect your grade actually, because if you speed up the videos on my end, it looks like you're not watching the whole video. I like the fact that you can look at the script, because sometimes the people are hard to understand, so you can read this. Plus, you can save these as a PDF. Every exam you take in this course, even if you take the publisher's certification exam, is open notes and open book. So you want to have access to all that content as readily as possible. Nevertheless, this particular video is 6 minutes 13 seconds. You need to watch the whole thing if you want to get full credit. Here's an example of a demonstration. The difference is now they're demonstrating something on a server. A lot of the demonstrations set you up for the labs. I'll just give you a hint. Do the same thing, print these as a PDF. You can have access to the content for upcoming quizzes or assessment. And then you have the fact sheets. You also have the quizzes. This one's got 6 questions. I like the quizzes because they do explain, and a lot of times they'll kind of tell you where a particular question came from. And again, you can take the quizzes and the labs over and over again. Let's find a lab. Labs have the little mouse. Tells you what to do. You start the lab. The content for telling you what to do is now over here on the left. Once again, most likely what you need to do was demonstrated earlier. You just need to go back and watch it. If you do get stuck on a lab, by all means, you can email me and I'll be happy to do a lab video or something of that nature. All right, excuse me. I think that is about it. So you do 2 chapters a week, and then we get to test outs, certification. This is just general info about their certification, good to look at, but you're not assessed on it. You do need to do these 4 practice exams. These are, you have 2 weeks to do them, and then you have the final exam is this server practice exam, which then prepares you to take the real one should you come to the college and do that on December 13th. You don't have to do the Microsoft one for this course, but you're more than welcome to do it at your convenience because you have access to the material for 18 months. I think I've covered everything there. The publisher does recommend that you log out to save your work. Sometimes if you don't log out, your work might not get saved. Everything I kind of showed you as far as purchasing the ebook is in the syllabus. I'm scrolling past that. The book is required for this course. If you don't get the ebook, you will be dropped from the course. I cannot assign you any points unless you have the ebook. The orientation quiz, the password is hello. It's due by the 28th, but you have up until the 4th to turn it in. Minimum number of times a student should post something unless told otherwise. And of course, it's incorrect. It should be 8. I'll try to fix that before you have to take it. Purchasing the ebook is optional. That is false. How many labs are in the course? I want to say 49. Let me go back. Yep, I guessed right. The prereq is the CISN 302, and I do not check my email over the weekend. Okay, so I got lucky. This should be 8. Most of your discussion boards do cover 4 chapters now instead of 2. So I will try to fix that by the time you take it. But that is done. You should be in pretty good shape. By the 28th, post your introduction, take the orientation quiz, try to get the ebook, purchase the ebook, because the second week of class, we do start the first 2 chapters. If you can think of anything, have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the course.